performative males actually a bad thing? Stick until the end, my answer might surprise you. First off, what is a performative male? So I have a Urban Dictionary definition pulled up on my laptop here. It says that a performative male is a subgenre of nice guys that tries too hard to be in touch with their feminine side or pretends to like things like K-pop, tote bags, reading, matcha, or the like to improve their popularity with girls. This will often mean ditching their true selves to put a facade for their partner 24/7 and may lead to strain in relationships when their partner learns that he was only acting in this manner to get in bed with them. Granted, this is an Urban Dictionary definition, so I would take it with a grain of salt. And for the sake of this video, a guy qualifies as a performative male is a guy who feigns interest in a woman's interest to the extent of adopting it as a personality trait for the sole purpose to get women to sleep with him. This is like a guy who pretends to be interested in advocating for women's rights to become more desirable towards women. So where did this whole performative males wave originate from? From what I could see, it originated from TikTok, of course, and the two main examples I was able to find of performative males were in these two TikTok videos. I'm sure if you're chronically online like me, you would have seen it. And a general blueprint for performative males are ones that drink matcha all the time, wear beanies, have a mullet and a stash, listen to certain artists like Labubu or Clairo, and carry around a tote bag and a book on feminist literature. So now that we've got definitions out of the way, is this actually a problem? The main issue with performative males, as many argue, is that their actions feel very predatory. When you're meeting someone for the first time, it's pretty normal to exaggerate your interest in something that you know they're interested in to find common ground. Finding a mutual interest is a good way of starting the conversation to then talk about yourself and what you're actually interested in. However, this does not fall under our definition that we set in the beginning of the video of a performative male. The issue people usually have with these performative males is that these guys practically adopt an entire false persona, almost like a different character, essentially becoming an entirely different person. In these cases, they pretend to share these interests, but their heart is in the wrong place. They're pretending to be interested in these women's hobbies for the wrong reasons. And I absolutely agree that this behavior can be so harmful, as women wouldn't know what to trust. If someone you meet isn't actually the way that they portray themselves as, and they're playing a whole different character, pretending to have a different belief set and values than what they actually do, you have no way of telling what their true intentions are. And as a woman in this day and age, this behavior can be incredibly dangerous, as it's hard to tell if somebody is who they say they are, and if they're actually the good, kind person they're portraying themselves as, or if it's simply a guise to make you put your guard down and be vulnerable. And I would argue that this predatory behavior is not new. People with bad intentions will pretend to be someone that they're not to make yourself vulnerable. However, the issue with this new trend of performative males is that there's an exponential increase in the amount of people putting on this false persona. So it's much harder to tell who's being genuine and who's not. And in that way, it makes an already kind of unsafe world even more unsafe for women, as they don't know who to trust when there's so many people putting on a fake act. However, is this entire performative male problem actually a problem? I would like to argue that some components of it aren't entirely bad. Now, hear me out. While yes, all the concerns about it are valid, the behavior comes off as incredibly predatory and makes a world that's already unsafe for women even scarier. But I would like to think that it may also have some unintended positive side effects. Young boys may see these guys that they really look up to seem interested in women's rights and women's interests, and these young boys may not understand why the guy they're looking up to is all of a sudden interested in women's rights. So all they can see from their perspective is these really cool guys that I look up to are interested in women's rights. They think that women's rights are cool. And from that, this whole new generation of young boys could grow up genuinely interested in these topics, having a newfound sense of respect for women, and moving away from this whole alpha male red pill podcast genre of dudes that have been taking over recently. So to summarize, do I think that this whole new wave of performative male, those who fall into the definition that we set forth in the beginning, are predatory and pose a safety threat to women? Yes, absolutely. But I also believe that there could be unintended positive consequences from this new wave of performative males. Young boys will see these guys that they look up to start to seem interested in women's rights without understanding that it's all an act, and grow up with a genuine interest and respect in these topics and in women. And I would say the more young boys who grow up respecting women, the better. I really hope that this video was able to shed a new perspective on this trend that's been taking over. This video was slightly different than my normal chats, helping all y'all anxious, ambitious girlies understand and work through your overthinking, relationship issues, and general self-care tips. If you guys would like me to talk more about trends like this, just leave a like and comment down below any topics that you'd like me to talk about. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.